and welcome back to Estrella Spanish, a Spanish learning curriculum for all learning levels. My name is Laia, and today we're going to be talking about colors and shapes in Spanish, so let's brighten things up, shall we? So first things first, let's start with the colors. So I'm going to say them all out loud, and please feel free to repeat after me. First we have pink, and this is rosado. Next we have red, which is rojo. Then we have orange, which is anaranjado, or naranja. And naranja is typically used in Spain, whereas anaranjado is often used elsewhere in the Spanish-speaking world. We next have yellow, which is amarillo. Then we have green, which is verde. Then there's blue, which is azul. Then there's purple, which is morado. Then we have brown, which is marrón, or café. You can use both. Then there's white, which is blanco. There's gray, which is gris. And there's black, which is negro. So now that we've learned the colors, let me just give you guys a quick little note. So in Spanish, and this is a grammar thing, but in Spanish, colors and adjectives in general typically agree with the gender and number of the nouns that they are describing. So what do I mean? So for most of these adjectives, most of these colors, they end in O, right? So when they end in O, that's going to be masculine, but they can also end in A, which is going to be feminine. Now, obviously, there are some exceptions to this rule, like azul or gris, which don't end with a vowel like that. And so for them, you're just not going to change them based on the gender of the noun you're describing. However, with most of the adjectives and most of the colors, we are going to be making that change. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. And then there's also a rule for plural. So when the noun you're describing with this adjective is going to be plural, you're going to add an S to the end if it ends with an O or A. Whereas if it ends with, like azul or gris, when it ends with another consonant, we're going to add ES. And so now here are some examples just so you can kind of start to understand what I'm talking about. So we have red book. Now, book in Spanish is libro, which is a masculine singular noun. So we're going to make rojo reflect that. It's going to be masculine, so ending in O, and singular, so no S. So then we have libro rojo, which is red book. Now for red chair, the word for chair in Spanish is silla, which is feminine, but still singular. So we're going to change the O at the end of rojo to an A to make it feminine, but still singular, so there's no S. So silla roja is red chair. Now, red books, plural, we know book is masculine in Spanish, but now that it's plural, we're going to add an S to the rojo, so now it's libros rojos. And same for red chairs, feminine plural, sillas rojas. Don't worry if you didn't fully master this yet. You can learn more about this idea in another video coming soon on concordancia, or making sure that everything agrees in terms of gender and number in Spanish. Now, also just a quick note, as you may have noticed from these examples, in Spanish, when you're describing a noun with an adjective, the adjective comes after the noun in most cases. So like we said, red book, we got libro rojo. Libro is book, and rojo is the color, the adjective used to describe the noun. So keep that in mind for when we get to the practice problems today. Now that we've pretty much mastered the basic colors, let's talk about some shapes. So these are just the basic shapes that you would use to describe most things around you. So let's just get started. And again, feel free to repeat after me. First, you have circle, which is círculo. Then there's square, which is cuadrado. Then there's triangle, which is triángulo. Then there's rectangle, which is rectángulo. Then there's estrella, which is star, and estrella like estrella Spanish. Then there's a heart, which is corazón. There's a diamond, which is diamante. And there's an oval, which is óvalo. Now, keep in mind, these are nouns, and in Spanish, nouns are either feminine or masculine. All of these shapes are masculine, so except estrella, which is feminine. And so yeah, perfect. Now we know the shapes as well. That's awesome. And especially for the shapes, make sure you pay attention to the accents and the genders. I just mentioned the genders, but you can also see the accents. They're written out on the slides here, and that just kind of helps you with pronouncing the words, because we're going to put an emphasis on the syllable or the vowel that has that accent on it when we're saying these words out loud. And again, you can re-listen to my pronunciations if you need any help with that. So now that we've got the colors and the shapes, let's do some practice so that we can get better with this idea. So here are the phrases I would like you to translate into Spanish. We have a blue circle, yellow star, green triangle, black heart, and pink square. So remember the things we talked about earlier, how the noun comes first, then the adjective. Remember how we talked about changing the adjective to match the gender of the noun and things like that. Feel free to rewatch that part of the video if you need to. And then pause the video here so you can do this practice, and I'll show the answers in just a few moments. Okay, perfect. So now I think we're ready to move on to the answers. So here are the answers to the practice problems. So in Spanish, blue circle is going to be círculo azul. Yellow star is going to be estrella amarilla. Green triangle is going to be triángulo verde. Black heart is going to be corazón negro. And pink square is going to be cuadrado rosado. Kind of a tongue twister. Okay, well, awesome, fantastico. Now remember to practice these colors and shapes by describing the things around you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Estrella Spanish for more easy and fun Spanish lessons. Hasta luego!